Röki is the first title from new indie studio Polygon Treehouse, and is a narrative adventure game which has been in development for just over 2 years. Co-founders Alex and Tom both previously worked as art directors at PlayStation before deciding to jump ship and build their own game as independent developers. They're now working with a small team of additional collaborators who are assisting them on this project. The story of Röki is based around Scandinavian folklore. The more the team researched, the more fascinated they became with the dark fairy tale world of unusual creatures that live in the lakes, forests, and caves. Inspired by classic point-and-click adventure games like Monkey Island and Day of the Tentacle, they're attempting to update the genre by giving the player direct control over the main character and rendering the entire world in 3D. Polygon Treehouse are attempting to make a game that everyone can enjoy by implementing non-violent gameplay, accessible controls, and universal themes. The game is designed to pose a challenge, but will also offer a helping hand if players are struggling to find a path through to continue the story. Röki will be released this winter for PC and Switch. We spoke to co-founder Alex at this year's EGX in London to talk about his experience developing games.
So I'm here with Alex from Polygon Treehouse. They're making a game called Röki, which looks very interesting. Talk to me about how did you actually get into the industry, into the gaming industry, from the very beginning?
Sure, so it's quite a while ago now, but I was at university studying computer animation at Bournemouth, and Sony actually came in to set one of our final year projects. Okay. It's a masterclass project, and it was to design and create a PlayStation 2 character at the time, so you can tell how far ago in time that was.
Yeah.
And based off that project that I did, they offered me a junior role at their Cambridge studio.
Oh, right.
And yes, I started working as a junior character artist and animator. And at that time, things weren't so specialised, so you'd create the characters, you'd rig them, you'd animate them, direct the cutscenes. So yeah, it was a really good start in the industry.
Nice. So how long were you with Sony then?
13 years in total. So started at 2002 as a junior, and ended up 13 years later as one of the art directors for the studio, and shipped about 7 or 8 PlayStation games. So
anything that we'd know?
It's a lot of Killzone series,
cool.
Medieval on the PSP, yeah, lots of different types of games, quite varied.
Yeah, so you've now gone your own direction, you're going to more an independent developer role and building your own stuff, completely different to Sony. How's that feeling?
Well, the team is much smaller.
Yep.
So me and the other art director from Sony, Tom, we decided, well, our studio closed, and we decided rather than go into other big studios as art directors, we decided to focus on something that's smaller and more personal, and start our own indie studio. And it's been good. I guess it's given us a lot of creative control to forge our own path, and we can make a game that feels more personal. You can definitely see more of our personality in it because the team's a lot smaller. And it allows us to, we all work remotely from home. We don't have a central office, so we all work remotely and communicate with online tools. But it feels very nice, it's very different, but we're all having lots of fun.
So that's interesting. How do you tackle all the challenges with working remotely, because that's something which a lot of the development sort of industries are going with, especially like software engineering, all that kind of lot. They're trying to embrace this flexible working, remote working sort of mantra. But then obviously we found that the tools for collaborating with game development just aren't as good as when it comes to just pure software development, because of the complexities of game development as itself. So how are you guys finding it?
So we're finding it pretty well. I mean, the team of people we're collaborating with, we know very, very well, which I think is part of it. So a lot of the people we collaborate with are, people we've worked with previously at Sony, which helps because we almost have a unwritten understanding with them. And so, communication is key. We have like an online repository where we store the game, the whole project as it's developing, and everyone feeds into that. And then we use like Slack for online communications. But generally, we've all worked together for so long that it's almost like people can finish each other's sentences. And so generally everyone understands what the game is about, everyone understands what we're trying to make, the tone of it. And so I think those are the really critical things to lay the foundations for development if you're working remotely, that everyone is on the same page. So that's to make everything much more straightforward. Yeah,
absolutely. So how do you find the difference in terms of, I don't know, top-down pressures from working in a big studio to sort of having your own control over your own thing? So a lot of the obviously issues around the likes of deadlines and timelines that you have to hit when you've got a big publisher or you're working for a big company like Sony, which might not necessarily be directed by the people actually building it, and it's more kind of executives that say, no, this is the date we have to hit, regardless of the realities of that. How do you find that differing?
Not very much, to be honest. I mean, I think working for your own studio, when you're your own company, you have to be very strict with yourself and set your own deadlines. So whether you're working to your own deadlines or someone else's, it doesn't really matter that much. I think that probably as indies, you have there's a more of a weight on you to be defining your own goals and hitting them.
Yeah.
Because you have to be quite strict with that stuff, because otherwise you'll be making a game 20 years later.
Yeah.
So you have to be quite strict with your vision, understand what it is you're making, and try and time box stuff as well, because as creatives you can noodle away on something for ages and there'll always be something to improve, but it's about the broad brushstrokes, right?
Yeah, perfect's the enemy of good, as they say. Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, it's about the broad brushstrokes and making sure that you're working things in a really an efficient way, and you're getting most of the bang for the buck for your work. So
that's great. So if you had any advice for anybody coming into the industry or wanting to break into the industry, whether that's in uni now or looking to start uni, or gone into a completely different tangent and would really like to move across, what would your sort of key best bit of advice be?
So I think getting your foot in the door is it's a really, really key thing in whatever role. I'm from the art background, so the thing with art is your show reel or your portfolio is key.
Yeah.
So and it's better to focus on quality, not quantity.
Yeah.
So if you have a few pieces of really high quality work, people look at it and it'll excite them. So you should definitely focus on a few pieces of really high quality work. And also, it's really good to know from an art point of view, what is it you want to do in the industry? Did you want to be an environment artist? Well, you should have some environment work in your portfolio. If you want to be a character artist, you need to have character artwork. So if you're trying to get a job in a certain role, you need to have a body of work that reflects that.
Yeah. No, that's really helpful. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time.
I know.
And all the best with Röki.
Cheers.
Thank you.